What is going on? This is Cody broadcasting from the Seacrest Studios here at Children's Hospital, Colorado, and it is another amazing episode of the latest news to keep you in the groove with Maya. Maya, what is awesome about today's show?
Matt Bomer is calling in.
Say that again.
Matt Bomer is calling in.
Of course. Sorry, I just really wanted you to say it twice. That is awesome, Matt. Welcome to the show. How are you today?
Cody, Maya, I'm doing excellent. Thank you for having me. How are y'all?
I am starstruck right now, so I don't really have any words.
Maya's barely breathing, and so it would probably be better if she was in the hospital, but she's not right this second. But I'm going to turn it over to her and let her take it away.
Thanks, Cody.
Okay, so first of all, I just want to say thank you so much for calling in. I'm so excited to be talking to you.
Oh, thank you, Maya. I'm so excited to be here, and that means a lot to me. So it's my honor and pleasure to be here with you.
My first question for you is, who or what inspired you to get into the entertainment industry?
Well, I can tell you what inspired me to get into acting. The entertainment industry is a whole other beast. But when I was a kid, I always had a very active imagination as a kid. And when I was in sixth grade, I had a teacher named Marla Crow, who sadly is no longer with us, but who I know is smiling down on us today. I had an elective in public school called theater arts that you could take. And she taught me acting through improvisation. And I just fell in love with it because I was a relatively shy kid and I'd only moved to Texas a year before that. And so it was a great way for me to express myself, find new characters, access my imagination in ways I never had before. So I really fell in love with acting. The entertainment industry came much later after I'd been doing theater for quite some time.
Oh, cool. I actually, I just wanted to say really fast before I came up here for the interview, I was telling my mom, who was like, it still hasn't sunk in that I'm actually going to talk with Matt Bomer. Still, I feel like it hasn't processed in my brain. I'm actually talking with you, so
I'm very honored. I'm humbled and honored for you to say that, and I'm here, and I'm equally impressed by you. I've watched a couple of your interviews. You're fantastic, and I'm happy and grateful to be here with you.
Thank you. You played Neil Caffrey in White Collar, which is one of my favorite shows. I've watched it all throughout the pandemic. I've rewatched it when everything first started and lockdown happened. I seriously wake up every morning just panicked. And so I'd just go downstairs and I'd watch White Collar and I'd be like, okay, everything's fine with the world.
That's so great to hear.
So
I'm glad we were able to provide you with some solace. I've had many people over the years. I think one of the nice things about White Collar is that you could watch it with your whole family. There was nothing too scandalous or, salacious about the show. It was really fun. And I've had so many people over the years who describe the show almost like a comfort food. They could just go and enjoy it, and that it brought them peace or solace in trying times. So I'm glad, if nothing else, it provided you with some escapism.
Yeah, thank you. It's definitely a comfort show for me. I will just be having such a bad day, and then I'll just watch White Collar and I'll feel so much better. So thank you.
That's so great to hear. As an artist, I think that's one of the best things you can hear. So that means a lot to me. And I know that I can't take responsibility for that. There were so many people who went into the writing and production and chemistry on that show. So on behalf of all of us, I thank you.
Yeah. So my question for you was, what was your favorite part about working on White Collar?
Honestly, it was the chemistry amongst the cast and the crew. We had a real family for 6 years, and it started with the first chemistry read I had with Tim DeKay, and I knew right away that this was the show. If he and I could do what we did in that room, we had a show on our hands. And then we threw Willie Garson into the mix, who was phenomenal and brought his own chemistry to the show. Tiffany Thiessen, Marsha Thomason, Sharif Atkins, Hilary Burton, Gloria Vatsis, all the amazing guest stars over the years. And it just made for a really special experience. Work was so fun every day. There wasn't a day that I went to work on that show that I didn't leave after having laughed incredibly hard with a smile on my face. Even on the hardest days, it was fun. And that's a very rare experience. I've sadly come to find Ross McCall was another great guest star we had. But I found over the years that it's not something you can really ever hope to replicate on another set. There can be different iterations of family and chemistry, but what we had on that show was so specific and so special and unforgettable. And honestly, they were 6 of the best years of my life.
Cool. Yeah. So you were in the Broadway play, The Boys in the Band, as well as the Netflix adaptation. Was it challenging to adapt the play to the screen?
Yes and no. No, in the sense that we had done the play together so many times. We all knew our characters inside and out, and we had such a great camaraderie with each other. We knew certain rhythms in scenes. So, no one was ever holding their sides in their hands during rehearsals. We were all systems go from the word go. The harder part of it was trying to make it new and find it anew on film. I feel like so much of what is special on film is what's happening in the moment. That's not pre-planned or prefabricated. So just taking these scenes that we've done many times before and finding new dimension and depth and aspects to relationships and new relationships to the world, the environment, all those things, the set, that was sort of the more challenging aspect. But it was really a joy on stage in particular, but the film was an absolute joy as well. Joe Mantello did such a phenomenal job leading us all. So it was great.
Oh, cool. Yeah. So you worked with Ryan Murphy on multiple projects like Glee, The Normal Heart, and American Horror Story. How did these collaborations come about?
My first collaboration with Ryan came about, well, I had auditioned for him actually a few times one time for another project. And then we had a meeting. We had a great meeting. And then I texted him because I'd heard the Gautier song, Somebody That I Used to Know. And I said, you have to have this song on your show. I think it's really going to pop. It was before the song became a big hit and was played nonstop around the world. And he, I was thinking, Leah Michelle or Corey Monteith, somebody was going to sing it. And he texted me back and said, would you like to come on the show and sing it? I said, well, that's not why I suggested the song to you, but yeah, I'd be honored to be on the show. And so I did a guest spot on Glee, and I had the time of my life, worked really hard. And that led to other guest spots. And he's just one of those really loyal collaborators in the industry who, if he knows you're giving your heart and soul to something, if he knows you're showing up and doing your absolute best and being professional and being amicable with the people you're collaborating with and a fun person to be around on set, he comes back to you and he respects that and he trusts you and he sees things for you. And he is such a visionary that he can oftentimes see roles in me that I couldn't even imagine for myself. So it's one of my favorite relationships in entertainment and well, I don't think of it in entertainment in terms of, it's one of my favorite creative relationships. And I'm just so grateful that he has given me opportunities to step into his worlds from time to time.
Oh, cool. Yeah. So, you were in the movie Magic Mike. Were you a dancer before the movie, or did you need to take lessons?
Oh, I needed a lot of lessons. I'd actually, I went to drama school and we had to take dance for 4 years there. But I was never a great dancer. There were certain types of dance I could do okay, but others not so much. I'm really grateful for the training I had. And I'm glad they were patient enough with me to see me through those 4 years of dance training. But and certainly with Magic Mike, it was sort of a different form of dance than I'd ever experienced before. It was a performance as much as dance, really, in a lot of the numbers. But so we're so lucky to have Allison Falk and Teresa Espinosa, who are the phenomenal choreographers on the film and now on the live show that's playing around the world, who were able to take whatever our given skill sets were and try to amplify those or make them presentable in front of the camera.
So you were also in another one of my favorite shows, Chuck.
Oh, yeah.
Do you have any fun stories that you can share from that experience?
Oh, my goodness. We're going back now. I would say one of my favorite experiences I had. I loved working with everyone on that show. It was such a fun set to be on. But I really loved the scenes I got to do with Yvonne Strahovski that were very sort of James Bond-esque, where we'd be, I remember one scene in particular, we had this massive fight scene in the middle of what's essentially a Best Buy. I don't know, I can't remember what they called it on the show. Do you remember?
Where
the nerd works? I can't remember what it's called.
Now I'm blanking on.
Yeah, well, so okay, I don't feel so bad then. But anyway, it was we had this huge big action sequence and fight sequence in the middle of one of those. And I think in the middle of it, we like went back to back and maybe even kissed or something. I can't even remember. In my head, we did. But nights like that where it just didn't, when you're a kid and you grow up and you're playing all these different games and you have an active imagination, and then you get to do a scene like that that's so not about anything intellectual. It's just about fun and investment in the circumstances and the stakes, and you really forget that you're even acting. It's so fun, and that was a really special memory from that set.
Oh, cool. So Doom Patrol, your show Doom Patrol, was another show that I love. And what is it like to play an unlikely and underdog superhero?
Well, at times it's frustrating because I wish Larry would just go for it. But I think that the writers in that show are so brilliant, and they're always finding ways to one-up themselves on a show that's already creatively all over the map. I mean, there are things I've read and done and said and performed on that show that I'll never get to do on any other show because it is so outside the box. And I think they've given all these characters such a rich and thoughtful and emotionally resonant backstory that you understand why someone like Larry, who has been essentially ostracized from society and who is, if he takes his bandages off, deadly to society, and who has had this being infecting him in his mind initially, obviously. Obviously, that relationship has changed over the years, but you understand why he might have some reticence to step out into the world and want to save the world. The world hasn't been particularly good to him in his mind. So I think the fact that they have given all the characters these wonderful backstories makes it understandable why they have these inner obstacles in terms of just being your classic superhero standing with their hands on the hips and chest thrust out to the wind, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Doom Patrol and a lot of the other CW superhero shows have also been the shows that have like gotten me through this pandemic.
Oh my gosh. Wow. That's great to hear. They're fun,
so,
right?
Thank you. Yeah, they are. Yeah. Yeah. So, of all the characters you've played, is there one that you've related to the most?
Oh goodness. That's a really good question. Thank you. I don't know that anyone's ever asked me that question before. You know, I think they're all aspects of you, really. And sometimes there are things that you've cobbled from other people or different inspirations. I remember when I was playing Neil Caffrey that, you know, I borrowed a lot of aspects of our we had a 3-year-old at the time when I was cast in that role. And so I borrowed a lot of his behavior because he was so good at manipulating and charming to get what he wanted. And not understanding stakes, really, you know, not understanding the effects of some of the things he did. So, you know, there are different things on every character. And I think there are a lot of characters, you know, I remember doing a movie called Walking Out where I borrowed so much from my own dad. So there are roles where it's really just close to the bone in terms of it being you. And then there are roles where you are using parts of you and then things you've cobbled from your experience of life. And I think it's all a big soup that you put together for every role. And you have to just open yourself up to wherever those influences come from in terms of your understanding of the character and the world and how they behave and what their relationships are like with the people in that world.
Oh, cool. Yeah. So what song would be on the soundtrack to your life?
Oh, wow. What song would be on the soundtrack to your life? Well, I mean, it depends on what's going on in my life at the time. But I would say, I would hope it would be something by Stevie Wonder because for many reasons, I like all different kinds of music. I like all different kinds of musical influences, all different kinds of genres. I really bounce all over the map, but the amount of joy and just like celebration that comes through Stevie's voice and in his music is something that's so inspiring to me. And it's very aspirational. I wouldn't say that my life is anywhere near that, but it's something to listen to and aspire to for sure.
Oh, cool. Yeah. I have a couple of his songs on like a playlist of mine, so I'll have to go through and add some more.
Yeah, I love all that Motown music that he was a part of, and he recorded before that and obviously subsequently, but all that Motown music just puts me in a great mood and a great space.
Yeah. I've been listening to a lot of Chase Wright and Jeremy Shada. And
well, I got to write these down. Hold on. Chase Wright?
Yeah.
I'm putting these in my notes. And Jeremy
Shada.
Okay.
And then Jeremy Zucker too.
Jeremy Zucker. Okay. And what style of music is that?
Like pop. Chase Wright is kind of like country, and then
yeah, that sounds like also, a country singer.
Yeah, he's like kind of a mixture of like country and pop.
Sure. Yeah.
So
there's a lot of that going on, I think. That's exciting. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think I've been driving my mom a little bit crazy because I have I just have those artists on repeat all the time. So
I do the same thing. I can really fixate on one artist, one song, one album. I can really just like go down the rabbit hole, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So is there a show that you're currently binge watching?
Yeah. So what am I watching right now? Well, I'm currently on the jury for the Gotham Awards. So I've been watching a lot of films, but in terms of shows, I like everyone else, love Succession. So I've been enjoying the new season of that, but I like to take that. I don't like to binge it. I'm not a great binger. I have to be honest with you. I kind of like 1 or 2 a week. Maybe with Succession, 1 a week is great for me. That kind of scratches the itch. I love, if I want something lighter, I like Only Murders in the Building on Hulu. Have you seen that?
I haven't. I want to, but we don't have Hulu. So,
well, if it comes out in another format, if you're able to get Hulu at some point, I highly recommend that. It's a really fun show. I like, what else have I been watching? There's a show I think it's called Midnight Mass on Netflix. That I really enjoyed. I got into that around Halloween because it was it's kind of a genre piece. It's actually about, I would say, substance abuse and inner demons as much as it is about actual monsters. But I really enjoyed that show. And I think that's all I've been working pretty hard. So that's about all I've had time to watch these days.
Oh, cool. Yeah, we, since the pandemic, we've binged watched a lot of shows, and I wanted to see Midnight Mass, and then I read like how scary it was. And I don't do well with that stuff.
Yeah. Well, then it might not be the show for you.
Yeah.
It certainly has some other scary aspects to it. I'm going to tell you what else I've downloaded recently. There was one on HBO Max that I really liked. It was a docuseries about oh goodness, it was about this sort of church that it encouraged dieting. Anyway, it was kind of a scandalous docuseries, but I watched that one pretty quick. Search Party is a show I really enjoy because it thinks so outside the box. My son and I together like to watch Harley Quinn, the Harley Quinn animated series on HBO Max. Really, really fun. Really fun. I'm also looking forward to this show Made on Netflix.
My mom and I watched that. It's really good.
Yeah, I want to see that one. Yeah.
Have you seen the other 2 on HBO Max?
I've seen the first. It was only been 1 season so far. Before that, is this the second season that just came out?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I've seen I binge watched the entire first season and loved it, and I'm kind of saving the second season for when I finish this job in December. Is it great?
Yes, it is. My mom and we watched it together, and we were just crying from laughing. Like it's another one of my favorite shows. It's so funny.
Okay, I'm going to watch it. That's the first thing I'm going to watch. I'm going to need that when I finish work. You know what else I loved is White Lotus. Did you see White Lotus?
I didn't. My mom watched it, and then a couple other people told me to watch it.
Yeah, I enjoy it. I think Mike White, the creator, is a wonderful writer and director, and the actors were all fantastic.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Before I forget, I just wanted to tell you my mom and my sister are also huge fans of yours, so they were jealous that I was talking to you.
Oh my goodness, Maya. That's so sweet to hear. Well, please tell them I say hi and I send my love.
I will. Thank you.
And thank them for watching whatever they've watched. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
That's what you say when you're old. You don't really know how anybody has found you as an actor, so you just have to say whatever it is.
So if you could have anyone narrate the story of your life, who would it be?
Morgan Freeman, because I think Morgan Freeman should narrate everything. You said narrate. I'm saying, obviously, I mean, but yeah, if you're saying just narrate, if someone was like, there was once a boy named Matt Bomer, I would want it to be Morgan Freeman. Yeah, I want Morgan Freeman to narrate everything. He should be every voice command. He should be, I only want to hear Morgan Freeman's voice.
Do you ever get anxious before like an audition or performance? And if so, what do you do to keep yourself calm?
All the time is the answer to that. All the time. And I shouldn't say that. Not all the time, but yeah, I do sometimes, particularly if it's live or if it's a format that I don't know very well or I'm not comfortable with. Yeah, I do. And I found for me, if I'm able to have some type of contemplative practice in my day, whether it's meditation or just something that I do where I relax myself and know how to focus my mind and relax my body and mind and kind of check out from the world and my thoughts a little bit, that can be very helpful in those situations. But it's really funny. You should ask this because I recently had to sing in front of people live at an event that I hadn't had to do that in a very long time. And I'm working with this wonderful actress who's a Tony winner. Her name's Ali Stroker right now. And she's a phenomenal singer and actress. And I asked her about this and I said, what do I do? You know, I haven't sung in front of people in a long time. I have to do this. And she said, it's not about you. It's something you got to give it to them. It's for them. It's for, you have to have it all in you and give it away and take the focus off of you. And then you won't be worried about whether you hit every note perfectly or if it all goes exactly as planned. And I thought that was really wise counsel. There's another great book too by a woman named Mel Robbins, who is, she was a lawyer. Now she's kind of a motivational speaker. It's called the 5-second rule. And it's the most simple practice on the planet, but it's just to count backwards from 5 to 1 and then go. And as simple and sort of juvenile as that sounds, it does something in your neural pathways where it takes you out of your intellect and just into the present. Something about counting backwards. You can read the book if you want more science on it. I'm not the guy to explain that to you, but there are times when if it's a take and I'm on like a second or third take and I want to mix it up and just get out of my head, I'll just do that while I'm preparing before they call action.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
The most important thing is just to remember to breathe.
Yeah.
Always go back to your breath and remember to breathe. You're 90% there.
Yeah. My mom usually has to remind me of that. because I get like either if I'm like really excited or really anxious and having a ton of anxiety, it's like one or the other. And my mom always has to be like, okay, remember to breathe.
Yeah, I think that's great counsel. I think your mom is very smart. In almost all of the altered states we experience, whether it's anxiety or big emotional moments, something is going on with the breath that's not our standard breathe in, breathe out. So if you can become aware of that and try to get control of your breath, it can oftentimes bring you closer back to the center.
Yeah, yeah, like when I got the interview with you, well, my mom also wasn't breathing for a little bit, and then afterwards she was like, okay, now breathe.
Oh my goodness, you're so sweet. I'm going to have to call you anytime I need to feel good about myself. You guys are just, I mean, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, well, thank you, because you just everything you do, just we love. So
thanks so much.
Yeah. So my last question for you is, who do you consider to be a real life superhero and why?
Oh, well, I would say there are so many out there who aren't really in the spotlight, but I would say, particularly within the past couple of years, anyone in the medical field who has had to go to work all through the pandemic, who's had to put their lives on the line to help other people, to make sure that we all try to stay healthy and up and running. I would say, especially the nurses out there, I think are just phenomenal people. I would say teachers are superheroes. I think they should be paid more and honored more. I think the work they do is invaluable, and it really does set people, like I spoke about Marla Crow earlier today, it can set, what the work they do can set someone on the path of their life path. And I think there's so much nobility in that. I think parents are superheroes, particularly this past couple years, particularly single parents who've had to shoulder so much on their own while also trying to take care of their kids. So I think there are a lot of folks out there. I think my husband is one. When I have to go on location and, I'm off filming in some foreign place and he's running a company and raising 3 kids and, so there are a lot of them out there, and I'm grateful to all of them.
Yeah. Yeah, my mom and my sister, they're both just my best friends and my heroes. And my mom is actually a single parent, and I'm always amazed with everything she does.
Yeah. Well, that's great. That reflects beautifully on you as well, because it's nice that you appreciate her. I'm sure that means a lot to her.
Yeah, well, thank you. And thank you so much for calling in. I still haven't processed that. So
Well, I haven't yet either. And I'm so impressed by you, and I'm so grateful to have been here with you. And, anytime you want to chat, you just let me know and I'll be here.
Thank you.
Right.
I just wanted to say that really fast that you have just been a dream interview for all these years that I've been doing interviews. It's like, I need to get Matt Bomer on. So thank you.
I am floored. Thank you so much. That means so much to me, truly, Maya. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Matt, thanks for spending so much time with us. We hope you have a great rest of the day. And I know that Maya will keep us updated as to where we can find you on the big and small screen, or the stage as it might be. So we will look forward to her updates on your whereabouts. And we sure have enjoyed you. Thank you so much.
Hey, thank you so much. I'm going to take one more picture, Maya, okay?
You want me
Okay.
out of this picture? I can turn myself off here.
It's up to you.
Oh, I don't need to be in this.
Okay.
I mean, I know I'm pretty beautiful and all, but we'll let you guys be the star of this show here. I'm just teasing,
All
really.
right.
Oh, well, thank you, Cody.
Hey, thank you.
All right.
Thanks, Cody.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Y'all have a great day. Take care of yourselves.
You too.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.